Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this channel. Today we're going to be reacting to WWE wrestlers who proved everyone wrong. Basically meaning any wrestlers that everyone thought was trash but ended up being talented. If you guys haven't yet, join the channel, like, subscribe, comment. Let's get into this.
10 WWE wrestlers who proved everyone wrong. Number 10, John Cena. At WrestleMania 31, John Cena became US champion. On the surface, this was a bizarre booking move as Cena was still very much WWE's top star, so some fans felt like this was a step down for Cena to now be a mid-card champion. On the Raw following WrestleMania 31, Cena introduced the world to the John Cena US Title Open Challenge. This would see Cena defend the title virtually every week against names up and down the card. For the 10 years before the US title reign, Cena was heavily bashed for his in-ring work, and this Open Challenge series was Cena's chance to prove to everyone that he was indeed a fantastic worker, as he could have bangers on a weekly basis.
The US Open Challenge was overall amazing, just to be honest. Like, you had, every week you had a new star. You didn't know who was actually going to debut. I believe Sami Zayn debuted during the Open Challenge. The US Open Challenge, I mean. I'm pretty sure he debuted in Montreal, if I remember correctly. Trying to think who else actually was in the US Open Challenge. I think him and Dolph had a fair match. Can't remember exactly. I know him, Ambrose had a match, I believe, Monday after Mania, I believe.
Cena proved every single doubter wrong as Cena embarked on the most widely acclaimed in-ring run of his career. Cena turned into a completely different wrestler during this time, and his matches with the likes of Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and even Wade Barrett were examples of Cena showing the world that he was a fantastic in-ring performer. Number 9, Christian. When Christian parted ways with WWE in 2000,
Christian definitely deserves to be on this list. Like, overall, Christian Cage, whatever you'd like to clarify him as, definitely proved that everyone wrong. He definitely proved that he's not just psychic. When it comes to just TNA, AEW, WWE, he proved that in singles. Yes, he proved he's world champion with it all. If you look at all of his feuds from AEW, TNA, and every promotion he's been in, his matches have been incredible, definitely.
2005, he wanted to show WWE that he had what it took to be a top star in pro wrestling. Christian, shortly after his departure, signed with TNA, and what followed was phenomenal work, as Christian was instantly pushed into the main event scene and he delivered in every aspect of what was required out of a main event talent. Christian would become world champion, and this was long overdue, yet it was wonderful to see him get his flowers. Upon returning to WWE in 2009, they still needed convincing that Christian was a main event level performer. When he finally got this chance in 2011, Christian had a chip on his shoulder, and his world title main event feud with Randy Orton was widely acclaimed, and Orton himself classes it as one of the standout feuds of his entire career. Whilst Christian didn't
Every time I see that bump with him and Orton at SummerSlam 2011, my neck hurts. That looks painful.
Win another world title outside the two runs in 2011, he was often placed in the main event scene, and Christian had numerous world title matches before his initial WWE retirement in 2014. Number 8, Mark Henry. For the first few years of Mark Henry's WWE run, he couldn't just put it together in the ring. Henry went between various different characters, and despite WWE pushing him numerous times up the card, each time Henry failed to catch fire, and the fans rejected him as a
I wasn't around during the era of American Night before 2008, so I didn't really watch a ton of the American Nation of Domination era. I didn't know that during its time because I wasn't really alive. I was probably I was born in 2004. Nation of Domination was 1996 or 97, something like that. I did not live through it, I'm gonna be honest.
Top star. In 2011, Henry once again turned heel, and he was set for yet another push into the main event picture. Upon this initial turn, fans were critical, which was justified as WWE and Henry had been in this position so many times with the same result. Henry managed to find the gimmick that suited him perfectly. The Hall of Pain gimmick
This gimmick was amazing.
Was outstanding, and Henry went into the gimmick and the push with the mindset of proving everyone wrong and showing that he belonged. Henry's work was so good that he was even given a world title run, And to everyone's surprise, this
The main
reign was one
reason
of the
I
more
actually enjoyed this gimmick was just because of the theme song. The main reason,
entertaining
definitely.
and unique reigns of the past 2 decades. Henry's Hall of Pain run established Henry as a legitimate main eventer, and although his main
Honestly,
event and
the
world title
breakaway
run was
ring
brief,
split,
it
I
ultimately defined
believe
Henry's
Brock
legacy
and the
as
Big
a
Show, the
giant in
better,
the
if I
WWE.
remember
Number
correctly.
7, The Big Show. WWE have had a
Debatable.
love-hate relationship with The Big Show throughout the years.
Debatable.
Within his first year in the company, Big Show won the WWE
Peacock is the exclusive streaming home of
Of course, you
Oppenheimer,
know.
winner of 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
title, yet they took exception with his in-ring
I think everyone knew, even before he signed with the, he's going to be something, just because of size. You think about during the late 90s, size had a bit of impact on champions. Think of like The Undertaker, The Rock, Austin, all of them, plus more. Their size was a really big factor back then. Whenever it came down to champions. Now it's probably sounds dumb, but it sounded cool in my head. But him and WCW, wasn't he part of? I don't know. I didn't watch a ton of WCW, but the whole giant thing, yeah.
By 2000, Big Show was sent to OVW for further conditioning. When Big Show returned, they couldn't just commit to booking Big Show in the main event. He would spend time in the hardcore division, and he would also miss WrestleMania 18. By the end of 2002, Big Show was put in a sink or swim situation. He was given the WWE title by defeating Brock Lesnar of all people, and Big Show slowly turned things around. He worked endlessly to get better in the ring, and his promo work was also vastly improved. Big Show became a constant in WWE over the next few years, and after an extended break, he would return in 2008 to embark on his most successful run to date. Big Show proved to the fans, and more importantly WWE themselves, that he was serious about being
That WrestleMania match with whoever that was, I can't remember. That boxing match sucked.
a big deal in pro
Same with that sumo match at WrestleMania. If you know, you know. That sumo match, I was so confused on why that even happened.
wrestling, and his story is one of triumph and resilience. Number 6, LA Knight. It was
Facts.
decided by Vince McMahon that the best role for LA Knight on the main roster would be a managerial role. The role would completely destroy the LA Knight character, as he would now be known as Max Dupree. The gimmick was atrocious, and the fans clamored for WWE to change their minds and revert him back to the LA Knight persona everyone knew and loved. Thankfully, WWE did, and LA managed to get incredibly over and connect with the main roster crowds. LA became one of the most popular stars in wrestling in 2020.
LA Knight's blew up within the past year and a half. This man is blew up.
2023 in a world title match against Roman Reigns, which was some achievement, seeing as the year before he was literally a manager of a lower card comedic tag team. Number 5, Cody Rhodes.
Cody's, yes, except for if you saw the tweet Randy put out in 2011, I believe it was 2011, about Cody saying he's a future WWE World Champion. Honestly, everyone besides Randy did not see Cody as a World Champion. After he left WWE, I saw him as a World Champion. Like, after I saw everything he did in TNA, Ring of Honor, and etc. in places like that, I realized, yeah, he's World Champion material. Honestly, before the start of this gimmick, if you told me back in like 2013 Stardust is World Champion, or Cody's World Champion, I would kind of be clueless. To be honest with you, Cody is amazing now, 100%.
In 2016, Cody Rhodes officially had enough. He knew he had reached his ceiling in WWE, and the company wasn't going to give him a chance to prove he was a star. Rhodes departed the company, and he even went on an absolute tear on the independent scene before helping create AEW, which became a legitimate alternative product for fans in an era in which WWE was seemingly dominating. Rhodes had become a certified draw, but also he became one of the most influential and important figures in modern-day wrestling. Eventually, in 2022, Rhodes decided it was now time to come home. After showing everyone what he was made of, Rhodes returned to WWE, and they instantly acknowledged his success outside the WWE bubble, and Rhodes was quite rightly pushed as a main eventer. All demographics seemed to gravitate towards Rhodes, particularly after his return from injury in 2023, and the fans firmly decided that Rhodes was their guy. Subsequently, WWE decided that Rhodes was the perfect choice to end Roman Reigns' historic run as WWE Champion. and as a result, the artist formerly known as Stardust closed out WrestleMania 40 as champion. Number 4, Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic, yeah, he kind of did. Well, whenever he debuted versus Seth at SummerSlam, honestly, I knew he was going to do something to it. Just because his dad is Rey Mysterio, well, B, he was around Eddie. A plus also, he's around two of the greatest luchadors of all time. And not to mention, Dominic has the overall moveset combined with Eddie and Rey both. And, like, whenever he became a heel, that's when you truly saw Dominic as a contender for, like, actual big things in the air. When it was with Rey, I only really saw him as a tag wrestler, kind of.
His official in-ring debut in 2020, he was still very much green in terms of his in-ring work, and his character work was definitely lacking. In 2022, in a much-needed move, Mysterio turned heel on his own father, the legendary Rey Mysterio. What followed was one of the greatest character changes in WWE history. Virtually overnight, Dirty Dom became one of the most detestable heels in pro wrestling, and he seemed to find his groove almost immediately as a bad guy. Mysterio would join the Judgment Day, and his on-air partnership with Rhea Ripley has been stupendous, as they both have a riveting chemistry. They both enhanced each other's characters. Number 3, AJ Styles. Notable concern when AJ Styles...
Honestly, AJ was blown up back in, like, the very early days. AJ Styles is the battle. Like, you can tell that either way. Honestly, in my opinion, I wasn't around during prime AJ Styles because I was too young or not born yet. But from what I've seen back then, I believe multiple people knew it was going to be something. Christopher Daniels definitely could tell that when he faced AJ. Joe probably knew that back then. I believe Joe said that.
16. Whilst AJ's body of work was widely celebrated around the world, there was the apprehension surrounding if AJ in WWE would
This right here's my favorite AJ Styles attire of all time.
actually...
Well, it's tied with his Wrestle Kingdom attire, the WrestleMania 32 versus Jericho attire. That attire, yes.
Would WWE allow AJ to shine, and would he be able to grasp the WWE style and impress Vince McMahon? Thankfully, AJ didn't just grasp the WWE style almost instantly, he also rather quickly became one of Vince McMahon's favorite stars. AJ proved to the critics that he was going to be a significant player for the company, and in his first year in the company, he would have a WWE title reign and even defeat John Cena clean. AJ is now established as one of the biggest names WWE have under contract, and he now has more matches in WWE than he had in TNA. His work since 2016 has solidified his status as a future Hall of Famer, and it's an
honestly, in my opinion, it's weird to think that he's closing his career soon. That's the weirdest thing to think of. AJ's been around forever, and it's like, now that he's getting closer to retiring, it's weird to think about.
To see how AJ still performs at a top level over 2 decades after his first burst onto the scene in WCW. Number 2, Roman Reigns. It's well documented just how disastrous Roman Reigns' babyface run was. WWE placed Reigns in an elite position.
Yes, he definitely did prove everyone wrong. Just to clarify, yes, he definitely did. We're thinking about all the hit he was getting back in the, like, 2016, 2015. Around that era, yes. Whenever he went into the bloodline, became a thing, and all of that, that's definitely, yes, that proved that when he gained a ton of fans from that, yes, 100% either.
During his babyface run, were often met with negative chants and overwhelmingly scathing reviews. By late 2019, early 2020, the fans insisted that WWE needed to change direction with Reigns, and this feeling was also felt by Reigns, who, according to Paul Heyman, had a less than positive stance on his presentation and booking. When Reigns returned from a hiatus in the summer of 2020, he returned as a heel, and this wasn't the Reigns that came before. This was Reigns being totally himself, just turned up 1000.
Who's going to be number 1?
Reigns went from this disingenuous, forced character to one of the
prediction for number 1, I'm going with Drew.
most legitimate, interesting, and compelling characters in all of pro wrestling. His work between 2020 to 2024 was evidence that he had what it takes to be a face of the company, and all it took was WWE actually listening to the fans and allowing Reigns to shine. And number 1, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. They didn't put Drew McIntyre on this list at all. Logan Paul is definitely yes. 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 100%. This man is absolutely crazy when it comes into a ring. This man can put on banger matches after banger matches. Without a doubt, yes. Logan Paul is very, very good in the ring for how long he's been wrestling. He's trained by X-Pac. Honestly, if you told me back in 2015, I know I said this before, but if you told me back in 2015, Logan Paul is a champion in WWE, I'm going to probably slap you in the face and say you're stupid. Like, bro, I did not know he was that good of the ring.
Decided to compete in WWE was instantly met with backlash. Paul was a social media star and a YouTuber, and fans collectively wondered what on earth he could do to add to WWE. When he eventually wrestled, it was apparent that he was incredibly athletic and had natural in-ring ability. The more he wrestled, the better he came, and this was in all areas of pro wrestling, including his promos and his selling, which continues to be tremendous. Paul won over fans not just by his in-ring work, he also won the fans over thanks to his genuine love for WWE. In interviews, he often speaks at length about how much he respects the WWE talent, and he constantly talks about how insanely hard being a pro wrestler is. Paul has had a unique appreciation for the art of wrestling, and when he became US champion in 2023, fans welcomed the booking move, as he managed to successfully prove himself as somebody that's incredibly serious about making his WWE run.
The thing is with Logan, compared to like other wrestlers that cross over from like other companies, like other sports, whatever you like to call it, Logan has a ton of respect for wrestling as is, even though his family wasn't in wrestling and he doesn't know like a whole mind blowing a lot about wrestling. Honestly, I agree with a ton of this list, to be honest with you. If you guys haven't yet, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.